Let's try this again. Good evening. Apparently, I had the mic off that whole fucking time. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna start the fucking game now. I'm just gonna start the fucking game. Check out Deltarune and the Hussy interview if you haven't yet. All the other shit, I'm gonna talk about it on fucking Friday. Now, I'm going to open Hiveswap Friendsim, and we're just gonna play the fucking game. Because, fucking damn it. It's just that kind of evening, I guess. I'm a little out of it. Oh well. And I don't have my earbuds. So you know what? I'm just gonna turn my speakers all the way off. Whatever. That's just how it be today. And do we have visual? Yeah, no. Now we do. You may post reminding people how long it is until the embargo's lifted. Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, it's like close, but I mean, basically what I just said when I talked into fucking turned off microphone about Deltarune was that I wouldn't go into detail because of the embargo, but that I was really enjoying it, and that but I've still only played for like an hour and 10 minutes. I know it's a lot longer than that, but yeah. Okay, today is volume 14 with Charun and Wanshi. Chat, shoot your thoughts out there, which person you would like to read first. I think, can you still see my mouse? I gotta change that. You're not supposed to be able to see my mouse, and I think that you can. Let me capture cursor. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because I keep it turned off for the Friendsim because it's just a visual novel, but I turned it on for Hiveswap because it's point and click. So being able to see where I'm pointing and clicking might be handy. But okay, so I've turned that back off. That's cool. Yes. Put in chat who you're looking to hang out with first. Yeah. You walk with a purpose. You don't really have a purpose, aside from friendship, of course, but you know these streets pretty well by this point, so you can at least strut like you've got one. And that's that. So, put into the chat who you'd like to read first. And I will be back in like 30 seconds because I forgot to get water and I need water. My water bottle is downstairs because I just washed it. So I'm going to get my water. Y'all decide who to go with first. Charun Krujib or Wanshi Adyata. Ah, jeez. Look, it's been a day, alright? It's been a day. Actually, you know what? You think you've had it up to here with friendship. You're sure you'll be back on your regular friend-making bullshit later, but today is just one of those days. Curl up under the blankets with your favorite show sort of day. Leave your phone on silent and say nothing to no one sort of day. And honestly, you've watched a friend almost die of poisoning and gazed upon the juggalo afterlife. You think you more than earned a day, or night rather, of respite like this. Again, there's that mixing of canonical paths, right? Because that juggalo afterlife stuff, that wasn't the bad end. So, just for today, you turn your back on this new swath of Alternian city you were considering walking through and head back to ye old hideout. No explorations now, only bed. You drag yourself up the scaffolding to your hidey hole. More than anything, more than binging on media or relaxing amidst peace and quiet, you want to take a nice long nap. You just died. It'd be like that sometimes. Yeah. So you spill yourself into the little pile of bedding, pillows, and various pieces of clothing you've managed to throw together and settle in. As soon as your body touches it, you're out like a light. But it isn't very long until you're awake again. And not because your body is rousing itself after a sufficient slumber, but because of a persistent scrabbling sound. A persistent scrabbling sound that's followed by a loud thunk. Typically, that wouldn't be enough to get you up. You're a pretty heavy sleeper, but the noise is accompanied by the nagging sensation that whatever is making the noise is in the room with you, and that has you bolting upright. You must have woken up in the middle of your REM cycle because you feel like a mummy rising out of the crypt. Is this your real life? Or is this just fantasy? Bohemian Rhapsody reference. You know, I gotta say, Bohemian Rhapsody was a thing that I thought was pretty swell when I was in high school. But at the moment, as if you've been around for a few months, you'll know that in August I took a hiatus because I was working at a summer camp with youth, teens mostly. And they really fucking love Bohemian Rhapsody. And I have heard it so many fucking times at this point. I'm so sick of it. Oh god, I have heard it sung loud and proud. It fills my heart with joy to see them, all our wonderful campers, so happy. But by the end of 3 fucking weeks of camp, 3 fucking weeks of Bohemian Rhapsody, just about at least once a day, sometimes more, I'm pretty well done with the damn song. Your brain struggles to make sense of your surroundings through the fog of residual sleepiness that's still settled over you as you stumble to your feet. Eventually, you're able to discern that the noise is coming from behind and above you, around where the ceiling is. What the hell? Is there a raccoon crawling in the vents? Does Alternia even have raccoons? If it does, you're pretty sure you wouldn't want to meet one, but you can't exactly leave it in your living space either. You get up to investigate. The noise isn't coming from the ceiling like you thought, but from a platform that's been shoved unceremoniously to the very back of the watchtower. There's a large object in front of it that wasn't there before. A giant curved lens that could only have come from the hole that is now on the side of the platform structure. Maybe this was an old telescope or camera that the Condés once used for surveillance. The scrabbling continues. It's coming from within the structure. You're not eager for whatever it is in there to come jumping out at you as soon as you stick your head inside, but you steel your nerves and hoist yourself up. You find yourself face to face with not some weird animal or bug, but a troll. And now his music is playing. His music is like super chill. Both of the tracks for this Friendsim are really chill and kind of like a tinkling and like plunky. I've enjoyed that these tracks too. Most of them have been pretty rollicking beats, which I also of course fucking adore. But it's real neat to see that extra little bit of textural variety in the music. He just fucking stares at you. They just fucking stare at you. Goddamn. This is a bona fide friend opportunity. It's practically fallen in your lap, but you find yourself unexpectedly ornery about it. You would think that you come to expect some privacy in your own home, or, well, the place you've adopted as home in Alternia anyway, but apparently not. Even when you've decided that you aren't in a friending mood, there the universe goes, yeeting new friends into your path anyways. Can't you go a whole day on this planet without dancing the whole friendship jig? It quickly becomes obvious that this mysterious stranger isn't going to offer you anything more than enigmatic gazing into the middle distance. What exactly are they doing in your hideout, you ask? If they were thinking about moving in, they could have at least asked you first. You're the current occupant, after all. I don't want to move in. I already have a hive. I came up here for that. I just pulled that Charun voice out of my ass. Does it work? We'll see. I'm just gonna run with it. They point past you. You can only assume they're referring to the giant lens you'd seen on the floor. Well, if they'd gotten what they'd come for, why are they still hanging out in the platform's innards like this? I'm stuck. And they didn't try calling for help? I didn't notice you, wherever you came from. I didn't think anyone else was here. Would they perhaps like some help? Maybe. As you hop down from the platform, you find your air draining from you, much like flesh juice from a pimple. That's a really gross analogy. It's difficult to stay angry upon witnessing what's possibly the most pathetic burglary attempt ever, and that's counting your little fiasco with your ship. I wonder if we're ever gonna get more than just that kind of, oh yeah, stole a ship. I guess probably not, because it's not entirely relevant to anything else that's happening in the story right now, unless we end up back on Earth for some reason. But, After walking around to the other side of the platform, you can see the troll's booted legs sticking out from a gap in the structure. It looks much too narrow for anyone to crawl through, and yet that's exactly what they must have done in order to push that lens out from behind. You yell that you're going to try and pull them out. You hear a faint, muttered, "Okay," and reach up to grab them around the waist, pulling hard. Did I forget something? I did forget something. I need to grab something quick. Copy. I forgot to put a link in the document. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I always forget. I don't want to forget any description links. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, any links that are mentioned are also linked down in the description. Yay! It takes a couple of tries, but with one last particularly hard tug, you're finally able to pull them free. They tumble down on top of you. Thanks. Bold of you to assume I'll have any clue what happens in the next 3 Friend Sims. Yeah, I know, fucking honestly. You know what? I will indulge at this moment, because I was gonna leave this till Friday. I'll probably talk about it again on Friday's stream. But David Turnbull, okay? Trace Excalibur, David Turnbull, who has done UI design and writing and a whole bunch of kind of codework stuff for the Friend Sims, tweeted yesterday, "The next volume of the Friend Sim is gonna be like all 3 fingers of the monkey's paw curling in at once, and then decking you in the face. I hope you're ready, but you aren't." And then James Roach replied with chants, "Monkey's paw, monkey's paw." What the fuck? The fuck are we even walking into? God damn it. Like, y'all. Fuck. My bet is still on Fozzer and Soleil twins, Barsum and Baisley. Although, that tweet has me leaning into the possibility of Marvis instead of Barzum and Baisley for the purples in the next volume. I'm so certain there's going to be purple in the next volume. Because of the name of Cult and Captivation, as well as that fucking ominous tweet. But yeah, I'm... Oh god. I mean, I'm waiting with bated breath. I'm super fucking excited, but I'm also just like screaming in my head. Let's just back that up one frame to keep moving. Thanks for getting me unstuck and breaking my fall. You didn't really do that part on purpose, but you're glad they appreciated it, you guess. They seem pretty content to continue lying on top of you, actually, but they're heavy, so you wriggle out from underneath them like an earwig from under a rock and clamber to your feet. You nod at the lens. That's what they want, huh? The troll sits up, crossing their legs. You can see them more clearly now that they aren't sequestered inside the platform, although their faces obscured a little by their shaggy hair and floppy wide-brim hat. They look about as sleepy as you felt earlier. As sleepy as you're in danger of feeling again, in fact. Their voice is slow and regular, like a metronome dunked in molasses, and it almost threatens to send you right back to bed. Yeah. So... Can I have it? You swear you can feel your friend-making juices start circulating through your body again with a vengeance after their little sabbatical. You're not really sure what came over you before. Turned down the chance to make a new friend? You? Wow, who kidnapped you and replaced you with a total stranger for a few hours there? You tell the troll of course they can have the lens. It's not like you're doing anything with it, or like it's even yours to begin with. It was just abandoned here along with the rest of this broken down tech. Curiously, you ask what they want it for. Are they building something? Perhaps they're an engineer of some sort? No. Climbing all the way up here, just for some building material, would be pretty dumb. I want to use it for... art. That was like... I had to click 5 fucking times. 5 frigging screens of epilepsis. Or, well, it's not 3 periods, it's 2, but whatever. Huh. You look at the lens again skeptically. It's a cool lens, you suppose, but it mostly just looks like exactly what it is. A hunk of junk. They want to make art out of this? Their work must be pretty, And here's our first choice. So once again, we're going to get the short ending out of the way first, and y'all will have a choice for the second ending. This is reminding me of my sculpture course that I'm in right now. Speaking of which, I did spend the entire last weekend covering myself in plaster bandages to do plaster casts of I'd say at least 50% of the surface area of my body. It was an experience. Also, I ran out of plaster bandages, which really fucking sucks because now I don't have any more in my course kit, and they're kind of expensive. But, yeah, our next assignment is, like, the imagined figure. It's basically just, like, do whatever the fuck you want, but there has to be a human figure in there somewhere. Or, like, you have to use the human figure. But there's no restrictions on materials. The last one had to be made of one of the materials that we had used in our technical assignments. There's no restrictions on materials this time. And, yeah. This reminded me because I was thinking of using found objects and some junk from my basement because my parents never throw anything out. Anyway. Let's get that short ending out of the way. Interesting. Uh-oh. They squint at you like they've taken some sort of issue with your comment. Have you managed to offend them? You thought you were being polite enough, given the circumstances. Interesting is usually what people say when they have nothing better to say. Do you have a problem with making art out of trash? You shake your head rapidly, but the troll is already crossing their arms and shooting you a disapproving look. I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. Oh no, does that mean they're going to leave? And after you'd up and decided to try and add them to your ever-growing friend harem, you'd up and decided to try and add them to your ever-growing friend harem too. No, I'm tired. Oh, okay then. They're just gonna kind of glower at you from the floor for a while until they get their strength back enough to leave, you assume. This definitely isn't awkward at all. Friendship faux pas. Ooh. Ouch. I'm mad because I thought that interesting would be the right thing to say. I thought that he would be insulted, that they would be insulted if you called their art weird. Because that's actually, like, at least interesting is semi-polite. I mean, just personally, I feel like, you know, someone's like, oh, that's so weird. And it feels a little patronizing as an artist. Because that's kind of like the thing that people do, right? Because, you know, if they don't understand, like, a very abstract piece, they'll be like, oh, like, that's so weird. What the fuck? And kind of, like, making fun of it in that way. Like, the people who make fun of, you know, things like found object sculptures, where there has been very little modification done to the object, or very minimalist abstract paintings. You're like, oh, there's just 3 squares on a canvas. That's weird. That's not art. And it's like, do you even stop and think about the process that went behind that? And also, y'all, if I may continue ranting for just 30 seconds longer, you have no fucking idea, okay, how difficult it is to paint lines that fucking sharp until you actually try to do it, okay? Fucking try me. It is hard to paint sharp, bold lines. If you're doing, like, polygonal shapes with, like, flat edges, you can mask, but, like, a circle? Y'all can't mask a circle. That's just fucking difficult shit. So don't be like, that's no talent. I could paint that. You want to try? Anyway, yeah. Just so welcome to Charun's Root, aka just me yelling about my artistic practice the whole time. Okay, let's keep moving. Weird. Yeah. The two of you alternate between looking at the lens and each other for a little while. Usually over the course of making a new friend, they usually would have asked you to do something by now, or presented you with some sort of choice between 2 potential courses of action. Is there anything that you'd like to do, that they'd like to do now that they've retrieved their art materials? Okay, this one does not change anything, so I'm just gonna go for the extra long epilepsis. Guess it's all on you then. They probably want to take that lens back to their hive, right? I would, but I'm tired and hungry. Foraging for garbage takes a lot of energy, and I used the last of it climbing up here. I don't think I'll be able to carry it by myself. They really didn't think this whole junk heist through very well, did they? But would you look at that? This is an excellent time to make a suggestion. Alright, chat. It's up to you. Help them carry it, or suggest that they look for something that's maybe a little more portable. Y'all make your decisions. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Indeed. So this particular volume, as you may have noticed, I'm ranting a lot about artistic practice, and there is a little bit more commentary on that coming up that I'm very excited to talk about, because I don't really particularly have a lot of folks to babble at when it comes to my art things. Yeah. Unfortunately, making friends at university is hard. So, you know, for the most part, don't got a lot of folks to babble at. Alright, I don't know if chat is still active. I feel like I've been talking long enough for Leg to catch up. I'm gonna set a timer for another 1 minute, and then when that buzzer goes off, I'm just gonna forage ahead and pick a random one myself. Alright, timer's on. So y'all gotta make that decision if there's a particular route you would like to explore. Yeah. Let's see. Running out of stuff to talk about here. Top choice? You got it. Sorry, let me just reopen the game. There we go. Alright. Why not look for more easily portable trash? Sure, this giant lens is pretty neat, but there's probably plenty of other cool stuff they could use that wouldn't be such a pain to move. Your new friend considers this, scratching their cheek. Is my phone turning off again? It looks like my phone is turning off again. Or maybe the Twitch app just crashed. God fucking damn it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to be intermittently checking chat in between reading because my laptop is downstairs and no, I am not going to go get it. Yeah, I already started late. I just gotta keep on moving. There is one place that I go to a lot for material. You nod. Maybe the two of you could go there then. You could help. You'll even graciously hold on to the lens for them so they can come get it some other time. Okay. I would have to come back for it. Even if you hadn't said anything, though. Or no. I would have come back for it. Even if you hadn't said anything, though. They take you to a garbage dump. Or a river, to be completely accurate, which has plenty of garbage washed up on its shore. Something about the strength and direction of the river's current here seems to pull in the waste that's been dumped into it, concentrating the debris on this muddy patch of land. You're not sure what you expect, really. You had fleeting thoughts of a gleaming art supply store, but they did intimate that they work primarily with garbage. Here we are. You better not tell anyone about this place. It's a real treasure trove. I'm gonna back up for just a second so we can take a look at this background. So, I mean, there's nothing too particular to note here. So underneath the purple tree with the orange fairy lights, Christmas lights, whatever you want to call them, there is a stalemate on the ground. There's also that little red wagon with, yes, some bones, but also a little plushie of a Lucis, it seems. Yeah, there's some wires at the back, some planks of stuff, old tires, looks like an old pair of underwear swinging from the tree. Those interesting gemstones growing off of the rock formations. And then there's fish in the water that we can see their mouth is like long and wide, like running along the side rather than underneath the eyes at the front. So that's interesting observation. Okay. They nail you with another intense stare. No, you say, of course not. Their trash haven is safe with you. Satisfied, they pull up the bandana sitting around their neck to cover their nose and mouth. Looks like they're ready to get to work. You're not sure what you should be looking for, though. More discarded computer equipment? Or are they more of a toilet paper roll and yogurt cup kind of mood? Whatever catches your eye. If you see anything, just shout. Now that they mention it, you never got their name. I'm Charun. If you have chitter, you could follow me. They hold out their hand for your palm husk. You hand it to them, and they fiddle with it for a second before returning it to you and traipsing off. A little clicking around reveals that they're now in your chitter following list, but also that they've taken the liberty of downloading a new app. An app with a purple-pink camera icon, and okay, you recognize this one as well, except on Alternia it's apparently called Pincer Spam. Which is, of course, Instagram. Searching their chitter handle leads you to their account on here, too. At least, you think it's their account. It's hard to tell from the profile picture, which is a blurry shot of one of their horns and the brim of their hat. Most of what you can see is sky. Maybe skimming their account will give you a better idea of their aesthetic. You scroll through photographs that are all similarly enigmatic. An intense close-up of a sewer drain lid, the curve of a piece of ceramic, a perby sniffing the camera. They've got quite the number of followers, despite the fact that nobody seems to know who they are and that they never reply to comments. You've got a friend in common, too. User Sarava Streams for Sweeps has liked a slew of their most recent posts. None of this is very helpful. You also realize that you're standing here stalking your new friend on their phone like a creep when you could just, go talk to them some more. So you hurry off after them. By the time you catch up, they're squinting at something. What's that over there? You follow their gaze. It's a hideout of some kind. A small cave tucked into the rock. Oh yeah, I forgot to explicitly mention that when I was talking about observations in the background, but yes, there is a cozy little cave over there. The two of you approach it curiously. Charun stoops to peer at something on the ground near its entrance, but you decide to venture further in. Okay, I officially have chat back up on my phone. That is handy. You think you might hear voices, and their sources become apparent once you've taken a few steps inside. Surprise! We have not one but two special guests. Who goes there? Reveal yourself! Oh, it's just you. Back for round 2? The likelihood of this battle's outcome being anything other than me kicking your ass is exactly 0. Typically, this would be a massive waste of my time. But luckily for you, I have nothing better to do. He was fully ready to completely rip you to shreds, and Connell was just like, are you fucking kidding me? No way. As Dasha surges forward, presumably to attack you, but any air of intimidation his little speech might have had is quickly diffused by Connell grabbing him firmly by the back of his coat and yanking him back. Dasha, don't be rude! As Dasha shrugs Connell's hand away, the quiet sizzle of his psionics is like the hiss of a pissed-off cat. Hello, Sea Cat. Welcome. We are playing Charun's route, which you might not have been able to guess because neither of these trolls are Charun. People aren't really doing the trick-or-treating thing more and more. Yeah, no, that has been dying out. We only got like 21 kids at my house. And when I was young, my parents said they would keep track so they'd know how much to buy for the next year, and they would get like over 100 kids in a night. But yeah, it's not as big anymore. People mostly go to like planned events and stuff. As Dasha shrugs Connell's hand away, the quiet sizzle of his psionics is like the hiss of a pissed-off cat. This, my dear Connell, is merely smack talk. As a prince among my caste, rudeness is simply not a part of my repertoire. Connell just snorts. Well then stop being such a strife-hungry dick. My friend is delicate, okay? I find it interesting that Connell is saying stop being such a dick when although I guess Karkat does use it. I was about to question its place in troll intellect, but I guess we do see Karkat using it a fair bit. But still, they more so go for like bulge or nook or whatever. My friend is delicate, okay? You protest that you aren't all as delicate as the last time you'd run into each other. You've seen some shit. As Dasha's sparkly sigh nonsense doesn't scare you now. The two of them are too focused on each other to pay attention to you. You telling me not to fight for once is pretty rich. Don't you think I feel the same as you? It's been too long since I've had someone to punch. Whose bright idea was it in the first place to hole up here in a trash dump for days? I told you over and over again that we are here because our quarry is somewhere close. We just have to figure out exactly where. It's a perfectly rational plan. You would see that if you just think for a second. Yikes. You thought that maybe you could have a nice three-way friend reunion, but they're too busy squabbling. Meanwhile, where had Charun gotten off to? You slink away from the escalating sniping, looking around for them. You're not entirely surprised when you find them hunched over some object on the ground, poking at it. You know these two, you say in a stage whisper, pointing in Connell and Asdash's direction. You could introduce them once there's not so much... Okay, I'm gonna try talking again now. You could introduce them once there's not quite so much yelling going on. Charun pulls down their bandana to answer. No thanks. I found something more interesting over here. Yeah, Charun is one of the two canon non-binary trolls. Hey. They gesture at the object. This is a great find. I've never seen anything like it. I could make something amazing out of this. Oh, yeah, no problem. It's all good. Yeah, Charun and Sarava are two canon non-binary trolls. You take a proper look at the object. It appears to be a miniature satellite dish with a few pipe cleaners sticking out of it. Unlike all this other stuff out here, though, this object is moving. The dish is rotating while a few lights glimmer softly at its base. You're pretty sure this isn't trash. And weren't Connell and Anastasia just discussing tracking someone? Whatever this is probably belongs to them. Yeah, that's why you've got to distract them. God damn it, Charun. So I can nab it. Okay, this is no longer scavenging. This is straight up thievery. Too many trolls. Yeah, I know. There is a lot of them. You kept calling Kanaya Vriska. Oh my god. Don't. Poor Kanaya. I mean, not to get into Vriskourse, but y'all know that I'm lukewarm when it comes to Vriska. Yeah, the trolls, I tried very hard to remember the names, the full names of all of the new trolls. So far, I have been mostly successful, but if you asked me to name all 36 of them at once, I probably couldn't do it. You glance at Connell and Anastasia again. They're so preoccupied with arguing with each other that they haven't even looked your way, but once they realize the tracker is missing, they'll probably decide to go after Charun to get it back. If that happens, stall them, so I can get away in time. This doesn't sit right with you. You don't want to screw your two other friends over, and the energy between them is so weird right now. The verbal sparring looks about a hair's breadth away from turning into physical sparring, but they also kind of look like they want to make out. Is this a pigeon meme? Fuck, true. Also, we are seeing here some major quadrant vacillation in action. And actually, speaking of things that would be interesting and relevant to Link, the most recent episode of the Perfectly Generic podcast was the Quadrants episode, and they actually talked about and used this scene with Connell and Anastasia as an example of vacillation, but not just an example of vacillation, an example of the way that vacillation is used is kind of viewed in troll society, and how, you know, both of them seem to not really want to talk about it, because they both kind of say mate spirit at one point, as Daja at one point says morale, and this scene they're very clearly teetering into Kiss Mises territory. So they're kind of all over the quadrants, like in a very similar way to some of our every quadrant relationships that we see in Homestuck canon. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any more development on that front. In terms of learning a little more about how those types of situations are handled on Alternia proper. Because we only really know about them through the kind of cultural lens of the 12 beta trolls. But it'll be interesting to see how those sorts of things play out in actually on Alternia, if they go down that route and show us a little more of this, which I really hope that they do. Whatever's going on, you don't want to be caught in the middle of it. That, however, sounds exactly like what Charun wants you to do. I'll make it up to you. Someday. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Okay, thanks, Charun. Bye. Before you can make a decision, Charun tucks a piece of tech under their arm. They take a running leap towards a fence that sections off this gross trash shore from the woods, vaulting over in an impressive display of athletic prowess. You cringe. Charun is really leaving you in the lurch here. This is so not the kind of thing a good friend would do. But then maybe you were never really friends in the first place. And MSPA reader is heavy considering auspicizing for these two black romantics at each other's fucking throats as Charun takes a fucking leap and gets the fuck out of there. Alright. Let's load up way the fuck back here. Yeah. Now it's just poly relationship with this Ash and Connell. Yep, they're just kind of like, hey, Ashen Quadrant, anyone? Anyway, yeah. That's a thing. Alright. We're back here. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rushing, conversations, but, I did end up starting late today, so we're already running overtime. I mean, we're probably gonna run overtime anyway, what else is new? But, without further ado, the other ending. The good ending. You can help carry it. 4 arms are better than 2. You do that? Make sure you're careful with it. Of course, of course. You'll treat it with all the delicacy of an egg in an egg and spoon race. I don't know what that is. Carrying it... Ugh, that was a voice crack. I'm gonna have a little sip of water. Carrying it to the watchtower's entrance is easy enough. Maneuvering down the cliff face is more complicated. You manage by holding it between you as you navigate from foothold to foothold. When you reach the bottom, the troll looks like they're ready to sit down again right there in the brush, but you urge them on. Resting in their hive will probably be much more comfortable. That's the wrong way. Sheepishly, you whirl back around from the random direction you were about to stride towards and follow them instead. With them leading the way and you bringing up the rear, the two of you shamble along the path with all the ease and grace of 2 people in a horse costume, but you make it to your new companion's hive much quicker than you would have expected. They come to a stop in front of the entrance to a cave in another cliffside. If this is their place, it isn't very far from yours at all. You're surprised that you haven't run into them until now. They're practically a neighbor. I've seen you around before. You're pretty hard to miss. Really? They should have said hi and introduced themselves. The 2 of you could have been hanging out all this time. Didn't feel like it. That's a mood. Besides, I was busy. With more of this scavenging and art business, you guess. Oh well, you're getting to know each other now, which is what's important. Speaking of, you've been talking and walking along, and you haven't even exchanged names yet. How remiss of you. Usually you would have gotten introductions out of the way from the moment they broke into your hideout, but it's been an odd sort of night. That's okay. I'm Charun. Now come on, let's go inside. They pull you and the lens forward. They, didn't ask you for your name in return, but you manage to bumblingly introduce yourself as you lurch along into their hive. Begs the question, are we ever going to find out what MSPA reader's quote-unquote real name is? My guess is probably not, but who knows. Okay, so, this is Charun's hive. There's a lot happening here. So, from left to right, top to bottom, same way you read a book. In English, anyway. You created it. What would it be referring to in this case? Sneak cat. In the meantime, so top corner we have like a broken street light. We have a very human looking toilet. Like, that does not look like a troll load gaper. That looks like a toilet. We'll get there, Sneak Cat. We'll get there. And it seems to be on top of the hull of an abandoned ship, which part of the side is broken. You can see inside there seems to be a kitchen counter kind of setup. There's a mirror on the side. There's that fancy sea dweller on the front. We continue across. There's a bunch of trash bags, some stalactites, and a raccoon with a neat little shelf installed on it. A weird little sculpture of a troll, keeping going to the right. And moving down, there is what appears to be a dragon skull. Stack of books, drafting table, very handy. Whatever dead creature's legs those are. Back past the raccoon. Okay, so down, moving across the bottom. There's some spears. Door that looks to be the door that they came in. Another street lamp. I don't know, is this the inside of a fridge or something? But without a door? And then we'll go from outside to inside, from right to left, because I know the Sneak Cat has already spotted the thing that I would like to discuss at the very end. So there's a what seems to be a dead fish, Lucis, on a plaque. A little cart, it seems, with an umbrella stuck in the top. I don't know what the fuck that brown thing is with the stuff sticking out the top, or the purple thing. It looks like there's straight up another troll just like hiding and living in their fucking house. But yeah, there's skateboards, 2 skateboards, a single rollerblade, a lockbox, and Lil Cow. So the thing with the Lil Cow, there is someone in a Discord server I'm in who tried to work in leaps and bounds to figure out how real Cal could have gotten there. My personal theory, given the connection with Gamzee and Lord English and the cult, it's possible that it's an effigy of some sort. Because of Cal's association, people will make fakes. Because this is before, okay, because Cal lands on Alternia via meteor, from the Earth Kids beta session, not from the troll beta session, the human beta session. Lands on Alternia near Iradia's house with the frog runes, and she finds it in the frog runes. She finds it all burnt up from the descent. So, and now this all takes place before Homestuck, so it would be pretty fucking ridiculous and relatively impossible for that to be real Cal. It strikes me also as possibly just a bit of an Easter egg. Then again, Homestuck and Easter eggs, usually when something's an Easter egg, it's incredibly obvious that it's a stupid fucking joke, or that it could really truly not possibly exist in canon, like the S-Ride videos, the end of that Flash where if you click on the corner, you get a picture of Hussey and Toby Fox wearing stupid funny glasses with like eyeballs and stuff. Usually little hints like this are little hints. But I don't know. I'm walking a line with this one because it just seems like too improbable. And of fucking course. Okay, I gotta find this ask that Okay. Confession. I'm the one who sent the fucking ask to Poinco. This is Phil Gibson, aka Poinco, who did the background art for this volume. But so yeah, confession. I sent this. I was like, I asked, was Cal's appearance an Easter egg or some legit lore? And his fucking response was, I didn't put Cal in Charun's cave. What are you talking about? So, thanks, Phil Gibson. Thanks for nothing. I'm being a little melodramatic. But yeah, no answers there. Excuse me. It has been a long day. Anyway, so that's really where that stands at the moment. I know that this guy in the server I'm in has some thorough theories as to how this could possibly happen, but I didn't study up on them or anything, so I can't really elaborate too much on that. I also didn't study it because I just don't think that it's plausible or that it actually happened. That's just my opinion, though. If anyone has any other opinions on a certain topic, I'm down for some civil community discussion. At home on Earth, you had a thing about garages. You thought it was interesting to scope out the sort of stuff people ended up accumulating. You've seen some real gems in your day. A collection of singing and dancing novelty plant figurines, a small army of Furbies without any fur, the beat-up remains of some kind of cat mascot costume. The inside of Charun's hive is as if every single weird garage you've ever seen converged to exist simultaneously in the same cave. The platonic ideal of garages. It's hard to believe that someone lives here. If you look closer, though, you begin to notice homey comforts tucked among the metal junkyard scraps and broken furniture piled over the floors and all the way up the craggy cave walls. A raccoon sitting on a ledge on one wall, and you think that's a kitchen cabinet wedged into another? So, what do you think? It's pretty cozy, you say, giving them a double thumbs up. The stalactites are a nice touch. Does not look impressed. I meant about my art. Oh, the art, of course. You cast around desperately. Charun's hive is such a jumble of miscellany that it's impossible for you to figure out which of it is art materials, which are finished artworks, and which are Charun's actual belongings. That's a pretty gnarly skull over there with the leaves and the eye sockets. The angle at which the umbrella sticks out of that lawn chair is really, compelling. You settle on a purple object in one corner that looks that looks more like a traditional sculpture than a bunch of household items stuck together. Those curves, that amaranthine hue, truly an inspiring piece. Charun looks at you strangely. That's just the load gaper. You don't know much about art, do you? Busted. So, I'm guessing that what the MSP reader's pointing out and what Charun is saying is the load gaper is the purple thing underneath the troll and beside the brown thing that I couldn't really put a name on. Actually, looking closer, that brown thing looks kind of like a fireplace with wood sticking out of the top. But anyway, that's just an aside. I think what they are calling the load gaper is that. It's kind of next to their elbow. No, you really don't. Ramel might have taught you the importance of giving the people what they want, and Amicia has taught you the importance of putting a tarp down before lopping off a head so paint doesn't get all over the floor. But you hadn't learned very much about actually creating art from them. As you gaze around the cave again, you find that you really want to understand. Clearly, this is something that's important to Charun, otherwise why would they spend the majority of their time on it? You, too, wish to experience the marvels of the creative process. If only there were a way for you to learn. If you want to that badly, you could make something out of what I've collected. Really? But they must have worked so hard to find all this. Is it really fine for you to just dick around with it? You're surprised to see that Charun looks pleased at what you're saying. It's maybe the most expressive you've seen them since you met. All art is dicking around. Fuck yeah. I can definitely confirm that as someone who's currently studying art in university. There's definitely, depending on what you're trying to make, a fair amount of thought that goes into it, but it doesn't have to be like that. Art and meaning can totally come from just pissing around with whatever supplies you got, and there's nothing wrong with that. Looks like you're already starting to get it. You smile proudly. And anyway, if you make something sucky, they shrug their shoulders. I can just take it apart again and reuse its separate components to make something else. Your smile flags a little. Where do you want to start? You rub your chin thoughtfully, wandering over to the lawn chair with the umbrella in it. A pile of fabric is stacked on top. You rifle through it until you find some colors you like. Then you walk across to the other side of Charun's hive, searching for other items you might be able to use. Charun doesn't offer much in terms of guidance, aside from cautioning you away from a couple of objects that are actually finished artworks. Whoop. Then you get to work. The fabric you twirl all around the post. You tie the smaller objects, a snow globe, an old boot, a fancy Santa, onto it with string. On top you perch a rubber Walmart goose that makes a majestically horrible noise when pressed. As your art piece comes together under your hands, you take a few steps back every now and then to appraise it from further away, making adjustments whenever you find something you're not happy with. Finally, it's complete. You turn to ask Charun's opinion, newly flushed with pride and adrenaline from having successfully made a thing. They don't look very impressed. Your face falls. What's wrong? Did you use too much orange? Were the scattered loose teeth a little too out there? Listen, you're overthinking this. Just do what feels right. You frown. Don't think at all, then? Let your instincts drive you? Thinking a little is probably good, too. Okay, don't overthink it, but don't abandon rational thought altogether. Let your feelings guide you, but not completely. Pretty vague, but sure. You'll give it another shot. You strip the lamppost back down. This time, you don't spend too long regarding it in all its nude metal glory. Oh, for the love of fuck, did the stream die? Am I down? Yes, MSP reader just stripped there. Art back down and is remaking it with just a little more free-flowing thought. Oh, you zoned out. That's all good. That's all good. Wow, it's 12:30. Alright. You strip the lamppost back down. This time, you don't spend too long regarding it in all its nude metal glory. You begin working immediately, whipping around Charun's hive in a flurry of cave dust and determination, grabbing things as soon as you lay eyes on them. Charun looks more and more fascinated the longer you're at it. It's not long until their eyes are positively gleaming. Soon, they're taking step after tentative step towards you, as if drawn to you by the sheer force of your artistic energies. They look like they might want to join in, actually. Is that okay? I see what you're going for, I think. Your vibe has got me all inspired. Of course! The more the merrier. You'd love to see what the two of you could create together. With a barely there smile, Charun plants a traffic cone at the base of the lamppost with great aplomb, and you're off. It's all a blur after that. The two of you move in unison like you're co-piloting a Jaeger, except instead of a giant robot, you're steering a feverish creativity-propelled fugue state. Aw, yes. Creativity-propelled fugue state. That is definitely something I experienced when I was trying to do those plaster casts over the weekend. Wow, I think we're almost done. Best art friends after this. I know, it's so wonderful. I love the ones that have art commentary because a lot of media tends to treat the art world and art commentary as like some kind of hoity-toity bullshit that's like, you know, a whole bunch of people just blowing hot air. But it's interesting. It's really fucking interesting, and it's cool to talk about. And, you know, I like the fact that they actually explore it with, like, Ramel and with Charun, and not so much with Amicia, but, you know. I enjoy it a lot. 'Cause, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, there is definitely some hoity-toity bullshit going on in the art world. And there are a number of reasons why I'm not interested. I love making art, but I'm not interested in becoming a professional artist. But I still enjoy talking about, like, you know, the theory and stuff. And I love that they're exploring it here. You stand back from your newly forged pile of bric-a-brac, mopping the sweat from your brow. They're right. You're almost finished. Almost. You need to add the finishing touch. The piece de resistance. And you know just the thing. With great conviction, you pick up a box from the floor, tearing it open so that its contents fall all over your sculpture. Oh no. My polysacchariferous slats. So that is something that I had to Google. And I already forget what it fucking means. Okay. Polysacchariferous. A carbohydrate whose molecules consist of a number of sugar molecules bonded together. So, sugary carbs. Cooking goods, basically. Like breads. You freeze. Were those cooking ingredients? You seem to have gotten carried away. You start apologizing, but Charun is already waving your words away. It's fine. It looks better like this. Too good to waste as food. Anyway, I can find other things to eat. You both regard your creation, heaving for breath. You're done! As exhausted as you are, and a wonderful calm settles over you as you admire the result of your hard work. It's beautiful. It really, really is. You don't know how, because you don't think you'd actually done anything different compared to your first try. maybe you just got lucky. But regardless of exactly how it came about, this is one of the most bizarrely sublime things you think you've ever laid eyes on in your life. And the longer you stare at it, the more layers and depth reveal themselves to you, like the petals of a newly bloomed flower opening to the sunlight of spring. Abruptly, irresistibly, you feel yourself gripped in the throes of profound new knowledge. Charun's artworks are pointless and weird, but perhaps that's what gives them their charm. Putting the two cattails together to make one long tail. 3 rings of tape, holy fuck. Black nail polish and a fingerless glove that's too small, and 2 safety pins. God damn, that is a lot going on there. Yeah, this here description of it as pointless and weird reminds me that, again, on most recent Perfectly Generic podcast, they were talking about Charun and the comparison to Dadaism, and how Dadaism as a movement as well came about, you know, during World War II as kind of a counter to all of the atrocities that were happening in the world at that time, you know, just like everything is pointless, so why the fuck not do absurd shit? You know, that was kind of the encapsulating point of Dadaism, which, and now I'm not just drawing off of that podcast and saying this, I'm also thinking back to my own art history classes. Was it second year? Yeah, I guess that would have been second year when I took this course. It was specifically a course on 20th century art, Western art. It was interesting, yeah. Dadaism was kind of like, you know, during World War II, there were all these atrocities happening. A lot of things, it looked, I would imagine it looked pretty similar to the way things are looking right now, with everything going to shit. And, you know, it sprung this artistic movement that was basically just like, nothing in this fucking world makes sense. So, you know, why shouldn't I do super weird performance art simply for the purpose of it being super weird, you know? So, you know, and then Perfectly Generic podcast, they were drawing the parallel between the history of Dadaism as functioning within, as a reaction, a fascist society, and comparing that to Charun functioning in probably a roughly similar way as kind of a reaction to the fascist society of Alternia. So I found that really interesting. That was super fucking cool. I didn't quite pick up on that on my first read through. But there's definitely a strong connection there that I really appreciate. In such an uncertain and violent world where troll culls troll, and where you might be trapped in an endless Sisyphean journey across the planet in search of new friends, for a brief moment, you can have this. You can stand here, awash in appreciative what the fuck at this masterpiece you've crafted out of a bunch of other people's trash, marveling at how you've birthed something greater than yourself. Sometimes trash can be beautiful. You think you understand now. This is what Charun must have been endeavoring to teach you. You beam at them, glowing with the joy of your discovery. Yeah, sure. If you say so. Joyride! Which of course would be after they did this. MSPA reader took Charun for a joyride in their scuttle buggy. Okay. So it's 12:45. We had technical difficulties. We started late. I think I might do something that I haven't ever done before. Just kind of a weird diversion from regular. I don't know, just the whole month of October has been weird diversions from regular scheduling, because, like, my everything is just going to shit. Not going to shit. I'm very busy. I have a lot going on. School is kicking my butt just a little bit. Yeah, I'm think what I would like to do, because I'm so fucking tired. I really just need to go to bed. I think would like to do Wanshi tomorrow from 11 to 12, or 11 to however long it takes to finish Wanshi's route, because I really need to go to bed, like, right now. I don't think I can really do another whole hour, honestly. I've hit that point. And I mean, it's possible that I could do another hour, but then I won't be able to make it through tomorrow, like, at all. I will just super crash and burn. My sleep schedule's been all over the place lately. I've not been getting as much sleep as I should on school nights, such as tonight, and it's really been kicking my ass. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing to do that I haven't done before. These will still be uploaded to YouTube as one video, like for volume 15, not uploaded separately, as Charun and Wanshi. However, yeah. Sorry, folks. I know that Sneak Cat, you would definitely fucking love Wanshi's route, and I really hope that you're able to come hang out tomorrow, because Wanshi is a precious, precious child. But I think this is the first time that I really just have to say that I've hit the point of exhaustion where I should not be pushing through it in an attempt to finish off the stream. I mean, we would have been starting Wanshi at 12:50. By 12:50, you know, usually we're supposed to be, like, finished, like, or finishing, like, almost done the second troll, and I just don't have the energy this evening to do that. So I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. But for those that came to hang out for just Charun, thanks for hanging out. I really hope that y'all can come hang out tomorrow evening as well, when I will be doing Wanshi. And then on the weekend, we got Hiveswap streams. Oh my god, I have so much oh my god. Because I've been meaning to do Hiveswap translations, because I'm having trouble finding for the Hiveswap streams translations of everything, like not just headline titles, but, like, for example, there's some of Damek's notes that he has, like, pinned to the walls of his hive and stuff that are legible Alternian that could easily be translated to English, and I just can't seem to find any of those extended translations. So I gotta do all that shit myself, and I'm fucking doing it because I strive for quality, my dudes. So yeah, that's what's up with that. That's gotta be how that goes this evening. Again, I am super sorry for the inconvenience. I know that some of y'all must have been really excited for Wanshi. It's just not. It's not going down tonight, friends. I'm going to bed, like, right now. Alright, no point in babbling any longer. Time to sign off. thanks for joining me for this slightly shorter than usual stream. I really hope that y'all can be back tomorrow to hang out and do Wanshi's route. Yeah. Have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. I'm going the fuck to sleep now. Good night. And good evening. Aleph. No. Sneak Cat. Welcome. Welcome to night 2. I know this is kind of a weird way for me to doing it this week, but that is how I am feeling at the moment. Things have just been a little weird this week. But let's just hop right in. Loading up the game. Alright, I'm gonna double check that this is actually working in game capture. Oh no, don't you fucking dare tell me it's not working this time. Oh, thank fuck it's working. Oh my god, I was so worried that it was not working. Fucking again. But we're good. We good. I got chat up on my phone. I got the game working in full screen mode. Let's just hop right into this. Let's just get right the fuck in this. At the right all up in there. Fuck. I'm still tired. Okay. Read that yesterday. Okay. Today we are seeing our little angel, Wanshi Adyata. So the book that she's reading, by the way, the Alternian translation is Diary Cullable Wiggler, which of course you may recognize the cover as mocking the very first Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, Diary of a Cullable Wiggler, the Alternian version. Alright, I'm gonna have a little water before we get going and then hop on in. Alright. Hey, now that you've gone and thought about the concept of purpose, you might as well make one up for yourself. You turn your walk toward the book hive. A handful of your friends hang out in there, and there are a few rooms that are generally pretty danger-free, so why not? It's a little difficult to make yourself walk past the spookier rooms, but you manage to avoid the siren song of the brain room once more. Your destination tonight is the room you usually watch your teal friends do homework in. It's understandable after your office experience with Charun why this is their neutral meeting ground. Unfortunately, a casual stroll through the snacks uncovers no friends at all. Damn. You consider trying out a higher stakes locale when... Wait! You see a shoe peeking out from one of the bigger hexagonal book hole things. Shelves? It really doesn't maximize space to have shelves shaped like that. Whatever. If you get caught up in trying to make paltry shit like troll bookshelves make sense, you'll drive yourself to madness before you can figure out if this shoe belongs to someone you know. You walk towards it, and the shoe is revealed to be on the strut pod of a troll whose head is barely peeking out over a book, and... Nope. A jade, but not one of your friends. Whoever it is curls up smaller in the hexagon, burying her face deeper into Scribble Journal of a Cullable Wiggler. It's not the most inviting posture, to be sure. The polite thing to do would be to keep moving, probably, but you feel a little off about that. You gently nudge your foot into hers where it still peeks out of the shelf and ask if she is okay. It'll clear your conscience, if nothing else. The book lowers. A cutie pie. I love her so much. Sweet precious child. I'm great. Just going on a journey of the imagination through some classic literature. Nothing to see here. Aw, man, it's another kid. You know young trolls have to handle themselves as much as older ones, but as well acquainted as you are with the facade of pretending you're exactly where you're supposed to be, you get the feeling she's not exactly telling the truth. So you're equipped to help. Plus, it's not like you haven't befriended a few tween sweep equivalents here on Alternia already. You successfully didn't get murdered by Amicia, and you did a passable job of befriending Charun and Carco. Though sometimes you wake up shaking, the remnants of dreams where you failed them on loop in your brain, you shake that horror from your mind and try to look as non-threatening as possible. Not that it's particularly hard for you, as you speak. Nightmares on loop of timelines where you failed them. It's the bad endings. More meta stuff about the mixing of the timelines. Okay, so this is our first choice. Same rules as always. I'll knock that short end out of the park, and then we'll move along. Ask her if Bronya is around. Did she come here with someone? Bronya, maybe? You know Jades her age aren't really supposed to be out and about outside the caverns. Oh, I see. You're a snitch. Wanshi out. With that, she tucks her legs up against her and rolls out of the shelf with the agility only youth can manage and takes off between the stacks. You chase after her, but wherever her next hiding spot is must be even better. Eventually, you give up. Youth roll. That is this is what the reference. The youth roll. I love that little green blob. That's how they're all canon. I mean, it could potentially just be because of the nightmares, but there's the past few installments, basically since Boulder, there's just been this background emphasis on the different timelines melting together within MSPA readers' head and like them being able to see the other endings. And on some occasions, if I'm remembering correctly, getting a little mixed up about the results. You know, sometimes saying things that don't make sense because they're confusing past realities, like mentioning, oh, by this point I would have been killed in the Marcy route. That doesn't make sense, because if you would have been killed, then you'd be dead right now, you know? So, taking it from the top of this line then, I suppose. She seems less afraid, but she's still got a nervous edge to her voice, so you try to be a force of calm. A real motherfucking Glade plugin of Zen, stinking up the place with your chill vibes. You walk together toward the atrium, making small talk on the way. You apologize if you made it seem like she didn't look like she belonged here. You're just not used to seeing young Jades outside of the caverns. She side-eyes you like she's weighing the implications of what you just said. Okay, I see there's no use in trying to fool you. I may have done a small jailbreak. Oh? Do they not have enough books in the caverns or something? She brushes you off in favor of her own question. Of course we have books. You didn't answer me before. What's a brain? Oh, right. You round the curves of the room and point right in the window. Think pans. On her tiptoes, she peeks into the bottom of the window. I've never seen one up close before. She tries the door handle, but it's still as locked as it always is. She looks at you expectantly. Oh, right. Fun fact. One of these two is a failed design for a troll called Troll. It has not been specified which one, but one of them is indeed. Troll call that did not make the cut. Well, can we go in or what? A surly-eyed guard, starts not so subtly watching you, drumming her fingers on the handle of her mace. Ah, globes. You were trying so hard to be cool and approachable that you fucked up and forgot that this room was off limits. Taking a kid to break and enter is, well, it's pretty much par for the course, actually. But it's not what you meant to be doing. Nah, you saw it, looking only, and now you're done. Great, time to move along. Ugh, boring. When she doesn't pick up on the danger behind her, even with your hurried speech, you change the subject to why she broke out of the caverns, if not for more books, and start walking, hoping she'll follow you. She doesn't. Oh, I was trying to get to BeastCon. It's a convention for all kinds of cool stuff, but I want to go for the Soldier Per-Beast meetup. My fanfiction is pretty popular. Which, of course, is warrior cats. I have a lot of fans going, and I thought maybe I could make friends with some of them. But I don't know where anything is out here, so I got lost. She takes a breath and a step, finally, but then stops and clasps her hands together. Oh! The guard starts walking. You eyeball the exit all the way down the curved staircase. You could make it, but you can't just leave her here to take the fall. When she keeps talking, oblivious. Lynura is always complaining about how you're everyone's best friend and how you know so much. Do you know where the con is? We could go together. The guard gets closer. You gotta make a decision, and fast. Okay, chat. It's all up to you. Take her for real, or just pretend so you can get the hell out of here. Let me know what you're thinking. I am having water while you make your decision. Yes. Let's hear those choices. Okay, Aleph is voting to take her for real. Take her con. Alright, so you're gonna just see what happens. Okay, Sneak Cat. And then we are going to take her. For real. Take her. Anything to get you both out of here. Grabbing her hand, you say you know the way and make a run for the door. She whoops and scurries down the stairs behind you. A quick glance back at the guard taking her hand off her mace reassures you that you moved fast enough. Once you're around the corner from the book hive, you stop and catch your breath. Why stop now? Lead the way, alien friend. You wave her enthusiasm off. She's out of breath herself. She can hold her hoofbeats for a minute while you locate your fucking bearings and think. Fucking. Look at your fucking bearings. I love that so much. You looked this con up earlier when Tagiri and Polypa invited you. They said it was fun, that the death toll was high enough to be interesting, but low enough to be manageable, and that you'd be safe with them. Still, you chickened out. Death toll. Anything with a death toll is probably not a good place to be. You guessed changing your mind and going could be okay? You're definitely anxious about bringing Wanshi along, but it seems like she's hell-bent on attending anyway, so maybe the best thing you can do is be a responsible chaperone. Plus, none of your friends make you feel better protected than Polypa. Google Maps says it's not far. Well, you've dealt with plenty of dangerous clusterfucks before, so what's one more? You're a regular Giles Corey of bullshit scenarios. Pile those sumbitches on. You bow as you gesture down the sidewalk that will lead you toward the outskirts of town. Wanshi curtsies and follows your direction. It seems like she doesn't need you to come up with things to talk about. She's like a chatty sunflower, pulled towards the bright newness of everything she sees, chock full of commentary about all of it. Wow, I read all about Moonlight, duh, but seeing it makes everything trying that one again. Wow, I've read all about Moonlight, duh, but seeing it make everything glow is totally different. Oh, she's so adorable, my sweet child. Look at the dew on this prickle frond. If you get up close and look, you can see the reflection of your own eyes and the moon's. You do as she does, and damn if that ain't a bunch of orbs reflected back at you, floating on the curve of a purpley green meniscus. Her curiosity isn't overwhelming or draining in the slightest. You tell her it's kind of nice, actually, to meet someone else who's experiencing this place for the first time. Yeah, the caverns are fine, but there's so much to see out here. Everyone else sneaks out. I don't know why it took me so long to try. No, I actually do. Getting in trouble sucks and I hate it. But it worked out. Here we are, experiencing it all together. Yeah, you can feel your anxiety lifting. Just a little. Just the part that's applicable to this particular situation. Still, that's a win. I know, right, Sneak Cat? She's fucking adorable and I love her so much. Sweet child. Walking and talking and taking in the night makes time pass quickly. You ask her how she ended up in the book hive to begin with. I snuck out when Lynura was supposed to be giving me some boring jade duty lesson. But with yelling. I don't have a palm husk, so I couldn't look up the con once I was away from my husk top. I just wandered till I gave up and found the book hive. That's a powerful nerd homing beacon she must have. Yeah, they're walking along. Wanshi flexes. You know it. It's so cute. MSP reader was like, wow, big nerd. And Wanshi was just like, fucking yeah. Oh, what a sweetie pie. She reminds me so much of a couple of my campers in particular from summer. Just her. Yeah, everything about her reminds me of a number of campers. And it just warms my heart even more because all my campers are so wonderful. You smell what's around the corner before you see it. Having sidestepped your fair share of corpses in your travels, and had your hand in creating a few more, you know how to prepare yourself. Wanshi, on the other hand... You know the brooding caverns aren't some diaper baby summer camp of innocence, but you're also not sure how much viscera she may or may not have seen. No matter your respective levels of gore viewing experience, you both stop short when it comes into view. Whoa. She takes a tentative step towards what's left of the troll and then retreats, hovering close to you. It feels like you should keep moving, like you should avert your eyes and carry on, or whatever the fuck before the drones come by to clean up, but she's still staring. Her steps, when she finally takes them, are soft. She crouches down and leans in with reverent scrutiny. It looks different, not in a jar. You wonder to yourself as Wanshi shakily takes it all in, if bloodthirstiness is a trait only certain trolls are born with, or if they have it ground into them by necessity, by expectation, by entitlement, by fear. Next, because your brain is wired around itself, you wonder the same about humans. I love that line so much, because it really, that's it. It hits the nail on the fucking head. This whole society is built around bloodthirstiness because it's built by Doc Scratch to prepare the beta trolls for their Spurb session. It is built to make everyone ruthless killing machines. Trolls are not. This is not pure biological reality, so to speak. This is not the nature of trolls. And it's not the fucking nature of humans either. Wanshi doesn't look away for a while. You go over and put your hand on her shoulder, and she stands up and walks away with you. There is no ceremony to it. No placing of leaves over the remains. No prayer. I don't get it. I don't get... She doesn't finish her sentence. She takes your hand and pulls you back in the direction you were walking. She looks confused, like she's still trying to work out what she just saw. You guess you could have given her more time to process it, but you're not sure comprehending death is really a thing you can just, like, figure out in the wilderness with an alien one night. After a few minutes of silence, you point out the call of some flat beast, and she mimics it and smiles. Soon after, the pointy-top tents of the con rise over the horizon. Wanshi starts running, dragging you behind her. Only as a background for the beta trolls, yeah. Are you saying this in or out of universe? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, if you care to elaborate. Oh shit, here we come! She's vibrating out of her skin. You're basically doing the same, though it's less an excitement thing and more an emotional whiplash thing. Whatever, you can work with that. Alright. So here is the con. So, let me take a peep. For the 4 tabs that I had open, were specifically in reference to what did you say? Oh, I know, she swore. Oh dear. She's forbidden from cursing. Alright. Okay, so according to Poinko, aka Phil Gibson, there are 5 of those trolls who were designed in this background, who were designed for the original troll call, but did not make the cut. You mean it started just as a character background for the Homestuck trolls? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. And then and according to, we have confirmation from both Aisha Ufera as well as, Kim Crotch, that at least 4 of the background trolls, no. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5, 6. 6 of the background trolls are people from the Friendsim team. And one of them is CL Kyle's OC new friend. So, Aisha Ufera is the sea dweller in the bottom left corner. We have Toby Fox, who is the dude in the bottom right, she says, which is, of course, the guy holding the little white dog. James Roach is the troll with a beard. The red bullet troll with a beard, kind of on the lefter kind of side. Lalo Hunt is referred to as eating snacks. So Lalo Hunt is the teal troll with the glasses and the cotton candy. Yes, Kim Quatch is the one who is wearing the sunglasses. The blue blood in the dead center with the sunglasses. That's Kim. One second. Kieran. I haven't memorized this one person's last name. Kieran Miranda, that's it. Kieran Miranda, which it just says, oh, okay. She describes it as Kieran Miranda is next to them. Okay, so I guess Kieran Miranda is the hemonymous troll next to Kim in that dead center spot. And the troll with the teal dress is supposedly CL Kyle's OC new friend who appeared in... Shit, I can't remember which route new friend appeared in, but that is supposedly new friend. And so those are the ones that Aisha has pointed out off the top of her head. And then a final reference. One blog pointed out that there seemed to be 2 Vast Error characters appearing as silhouettes in the back. And I haven't read Vast Error, but I'm going to trust this person who has. Apparently they're Minami and Arkjek. And they are 2 of the 3 trolls that are above the OC new friend in the teal dress. 2 of the 3 trolls that are silhouetted above their head. I don't know which ones, because I have not read Vast Error. But, that is indeed a rough rundown of secured references in You tried, but the staticky areas were hard to read. Yeah, it's on my list of things to do, especially after listening to the Perfectly Generic Podcast Vast Error episode. But yeah, I don't have time at the moment to hop into anything new. I have a lot of, heck of a lot of projects on the go right now. So, that's a rundown of the backdrop. Other observations, we can see on the far left, there is someone selling weapons. Next to it, there's a tent selling what looks like Lucis puppets. On the right side, don't know what the fuck's going on there. Way in the back, there seems to be Lucis fights going on, which are, of course, most likely to the death. But yeah, that's kind of a rundown of all the little references that we know of at this point, for the background. Alright, that took a while. Let's keep reading. You attempt to dig into the new vibe as you walk up to the gates. There are vendors and artists and trolls all around. It's like some unholy combination of AnimeCon and Renaissance Fair, but with more people walking around sporting recently inflicted limps. In an attempt not to focus on that, you look around for your other friends and ask her what she's excited to see and do before her meetup starts. Does she want snacks? It looks like there are snacks. Yeah, I could want some frazzled Sasharine fluff candy in a bit. But yeah, there's lots to do. And Sasharine fluff candy would of course be cotton candy. There's the color bear riding, the cosplay competition, oh, I read that wrong. Cosplay. I read that wrong the first time that I played this route too. There's the color bear riding, the cosplay competition, You cut her off. Doesn't she mean cosplay? There are trolls you think might be in cosplay, or maybe that's just like how some trolls dress. Yeah, there's that too, if you don't want to get your claws too bloody. Ah, jeez. There's the old nerves coming back. You really hope that bringing her here was okay. There are other young trolls roaming around, so you're probably good. You try not to think of the body you saw as an omen. There are bodies all over the place here in Alternia. You pull out your palm husk and consider your friends. You could message Polypa or Tagiri to see where they're at, but your thumb gravitates towards Bronya's gripe profile. Right when you decide you're being dumb and pocket your phone, a lot happens at once. When she starts to pull you towards a dude in a utilikit handing out flyers, a bowel-rending sound rends, well, your bowels, and then a massive armored bear with huge, beefy biceps hurtles through the grounds, hollering and grinding tents and congoers into a bent, splintered pulp. When she stares, frozen as the beast rampages toward you both. Oh no. Oh no. She whimpers and looks at you, comprehension and fear etched into her features. You did this. You brought her here. You let this happen to her. And she knows it. You picture 100 outcomes, 1,000,000. You want to work toward the end you see where you save everyone who hasn't already gotten squished. Are elected grand human, and no one ever gets fucking trampled again. But there's no time for that one. Instead, you pick up Wanshi, give her a quick hug, and throw her into the closest bush. With what's left of your adrenaline-filled noodle arm strength, you reach for the handle of a katana from a vendor's rack and hope to fuck it's not only for display. You've never felt less prepared to take something on in your life. You've never felt more sure you had to. In the end, it's no choice at all. The beast charges at you, teeth bared and rainbow bloody. You hold your position, pinky and ring finger tight near the bottom of the handle like Tagiri taught you. When it leaps at you, tackling you to the ground, you bury the blade in its chest. The collar bear lays on top of you, the last of its life twitching out of it as it presses your life out of your lungs in return. Through your darkening vision and under the furry dead weight pinning you to the ground, you see her. From the edge of the woods, eyes wide and watery with understanding, when she picks herself up. Oh. Oh dear. So that's the bad end. That's that. So, that convention was not a good idea. Not a good decision. Oh, Sneak Cat. I know, it's so hard. See, that whole route was just breaking Wanshi's innocence to crushing it to pulp. At least you protected her, I know. At least she survived that. But Jesus, that's traumatizing. Yeah. I haven't said much about the music because I don't have my headphones this time, so I haven't been listening to it. I just had the volume off on my computer this whole time to keep weird noise things from happening. However, music for this route, fucking gorgeous. It really, of all of the Jade themes that you've heard so far, this is the one that has reminded me the most of Kanaya's, for sure. Alright, last ending, let's knock it out of the park. Pretend to take her. You've heard of the con she's talking about. You were thinking of going with Tagiri and Polypa anyway, but the list of activities seemed a little too dangerous, honestly. Wenshetta, that's a reference to something that I'm not quite getting. I can definitely tell that is a reference to something. But I do not know what. These past few months, you've been up to your ass in close calls, and you'd quite frankly like to cut back on them. Including, you know, the one your ass is currently embroiled in. You make some non-committal noises as you work out how to tell her. When she crosses her arms and leans back against the brain room door, which the guard really does not like, if her increased speed and mace brandishment is any indication. Okay, yeah, you say, let's go right now. Your hype is contagious, even though you're completely faking it. She claps and bounds behind you down the stairs. A quick tug at her wrist pulls her out of the mace's trajectory as the guard chucks it at you from above. It thuds mightily against the wall by the door, and you both make it outside unbloodied. Checking behind you to confirm you're not being followed, you don't stop running till you're both safely around the corner. When she giggles through catching her breath. Wow, that was a close one. Librarians, am I right? There's a little voice in the back of my head telling me that that's quite possibly also a Welcome to Night Vale reference, but it's probably just a coincidence. She grins and takes your hands. Can you believe we only just met and we're already having bonding hijinks? I didn't think making a friend would be so simple. I can't wait to hang out with you even more at the con. Ah, her smile's a knife in your pusher. She's so excited about your budding friendship, and here you are, gutlessly hiding the fact that you have no intention of taking her from one dangerous situation to another. Maybe you would have agreed if you were in a braver mood. You just don't know if you're up for You just don't know if you're up for more life or death babysitting adventures right now. What you should do, probably, is get her home. You don't tell her any of this, of course. Instead, you agree, then check Google Maps. The con is down the road to the left. The caverns are to the right. Leading her straight back home would be too obvious, so you take a meandering route. Everything you pass seems to impress her. The frankly bonkers range of architecture styles, the shiny carnivorous plants, the burned out wreckage of someone's hive, and the flickering starlight all around. She is observing a worm crossing the sidewalk, out here exposed, all squishy and brave, when you point out a cool rock, eager to keep her wonderment going. Really? She puts a hand on her cocked hip. You think we don't have rocks in the caverns? Try harder. She rolls her eyes at you, but she's still grinning. You accept the challenge and tell her there's something she's definitely never seen up ahead. Bring it. You lead the way. It's been a hot minute since you've been back over here. You're interested to see it again. Still, this side jaunt feels like delaying the inevitable. You know she's going to be pissed at you when she realizes you tricked her, but you can't help wanting to show off more cool stuff while you can. And to see that wide-eyed appreciation for any tiny new thing. What's left of your spaceship comes into view as you round the bend. There really isn't that much left to show off, but Wanshi is still into it. She runs over and starts inspecting the rubble. You wonder what happened to the freshly missing parts. Maybe Vicaire has come back to scavenge some more. Shit. Vicaire. You haven't talked to that guy in forever. You vow to text him later tonight, but you still feel guilty. See, I find this really funny because it was actually just last week that I realized that I straight up forgot that Vicaire even existed. Just completely flew right the fuck out of my head. I feel like he was probably, of all the routes that we've done, the one that left the weakest impression, so to speak. Just in general. Not to say that it was bad, of course. It was another very interesting route, but out of all of the ones that have come out, we don't get quite so much new information out of Vicair's route. Vicair is the first troll we haven't met again. Huh. Yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, that's true. I do believe all of the other trolls have at least been referenced in other routes. Well, that solves that mystery then. Wasn't very impressional and just is never mentioned again. Until now, I guess, but, you know. Anyway, keeping on going. You haven't talked to that guy in forever. You vow to text him later tonight, but you still feel guilty. It's hard to juggle all these beautiful friends, even with how viscerally you crave them. You want to be good for everyone, but there are so many things that can mean, and you've never stopped feeling like you're treading water. Followed by Elward and Cuprum. But yeah. Yeah. That is true. I love it when they give little callbacks like that. I think that's one of my favorite parts of the world building that they've done so far in the Friend Sims. There's only 3 left. I'm excited, but I'm also sad. Because it's been so nice to have this to look forward to every 2 weeks. Wanshi emerges from the hull, clambering up on top of a black metal box and waving around some inscrutable rusty bullshit. There are so many fiddly little parts. This was how you got here? She observes you for a second or two, then nods her approval. That's pretty cool. Any old idiot can wreck a spaceship. It takes someone with brains to break out of the brooding caverns. Well, when you put it that way, you're completely right. She winks and pockets some of the pieces. Most volumes after the first 6 have at least one troll with only one appearance. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That has been the pattern. Yeah, this volume. Oh, right. No, this volume was Connell and Anastasia. It took me a second there. I was like, wait a second. Do we see anyone else? Right, and then, right. I won't spoil the ending of this route. I will not spoil the cameo. But there is a cameo. A wink nudge. Are you ready to keep moving? I don't want to miss the meetup, and it's happening right after Horseroni jousting, which should be ending pretty soon. You're not sure what to tell her. For some reason, Vicair won't leave your mind. Your sorry ass hasn't managed to keep up with all the friends you did earn. Maybe it's for the best that you're deciding to take her home. Her safety is more important than her liking you. You sigh and start to fess up. Even if she left here now, you're far enough away from the con grounds that she'd miss it. You were afraid. Afraid to go, afraid she'd run off if you didn't stick with her, afraid of not knowing what to do next. You what? You made me miss my one chance to do something fun for a change. Just because you're too much of a scaredy perbeast to go to a fun nerd party. It wasn't just that. You also wanted to keep her safe, to take her home. She stomps her foot in frustration, tears forming in the corners of her eyes. Why do you think you can just make decisions for other people? Why don't you go home if it's so great? Your mouth shuts, words gone. She follows your gaze back to the wreck of your only shot out and winces. I I know you can't. I just wanted... She sits down in the grass, defeated. You sit too, a ginger distance away. No, her anger is fair. God, this sucks. You hadn't meant to deprive someone of a small joy here on this bitch of an Alternia. Yeah, it's the worst. She sighs and runs her claws along the tops of the spiny purple grass. After a few minutes of silence, she speaks. Too late to do anything about it now. I'm still super angry with you. But I'm glad you were honest, I guess. Even if it took you too long. I'm not used to people being straight with me. I feel like the older everyone gets, the more they lie. Or at least the more annoying it is that they don't expect you to notice when they're lying. Not that I can super tell how old you are. Your alien physiology is a little inscrutable, but you know, more or less. Bitch of an Alternia, I know, right? Your palm husk... Ugh, that was a voice crack. I want some water for a second here. Okay. Your palm husk buzzes, interrupting your train of thought. You both look at your two new texts. Are you sure you still don't want to join? Things are beginning to get interesting over here, and you may have the privilege of seeing me at peak performance if you come by. Stay put. There's a collar bear on the loose. I don't want you on the already very long casualty list. You do a quick gorgle, and holy shit. Social media is already on fire with the news of a con attraction getting free and mangling attendees left and right. The familiar ghostly feeling of a near miss shivers down your back. Whoa. Her eyebrows pull together as she works through the images she's seeing on the screen and what it could have meant for her. She's still a little teary from before. I guess... thanks? Not that you did it on purpose. But I guess maybe it worked out okay. I do love not being trampled. But it still sucks I didn't get to go make friends. You don't want to be too presumptuous, especially after all that, but maybe this day might still be salvageable, new acquaintance-wise. When she blinks back her disappointment and puts on an attempt at a smile. Maybe. Might as well see. What was she gonna do with her new friends? Maybe on your way back to the caverns, you could talk about soldier purbeasts or scary horse jousting or whatever else she wanted to do there. She stands up and crosses her arms, looking you over, her smile turning real. You think you've got what it takes to roleplay? Ah, she's so fucking adorable, goddamn. You stand up too. You're super cool with roleplay. You've basically been doing that since you landed. So, what's the deal again? You ask as you start walking her home. Magic cats? Magic? What are you, some kind of wiggler? No, there's no magic in soldier purbeasts. Yeet, indeed. Oh my god, and look at her getting into character. It's so cute. She rolls her eyes at you and then hunches her shoulders, claws spread, eyes darting from bush to bush along the sidewalk ahead of you. Unless you mean the power of your own wits, the sorcery of all your senses aligning at once as you get ready to pounce, the hypnotic spell-like rhythm of your own pusher beating in time with your praise. She straightens up and grins. That kind of stuff. Anyway, it's really fun. Let's play. She bounced back so fully. You get the feeling that not many people indulge her in this. It reminds you of your younger self, and your heart crunches up a bit. Fuck yeah, let's play. You mean heck. Heck yeah. Don't patronize me. Fuck yeah. When she giggles. Fuck yeah! Oh my god, I love her so much. God damn it, I love her so much. Oh my god, sneak cat. Oh, she's just so adorable and wonderful, and I love and appreciate her. Especially just like this face, okay? This fucking face. Good God. Okay, so Little Lost you can be from the Space Cast. Let's call you Twinklepaw. I'll be Wild Wisp from the Solar Glare clan. She clearly seems to think you should be impressed or intimidated by this, but you don't really know what's going on, so you nod. Twinklepaw. Got it. Discord by the Living Tombstone? I mean, sure. Apprentice? Actually read or yeah. No, I would love your input on this, Sneak Cat, because I have no knowledge of the Warrior Cats books. They were not in my universe as a child. So you'll stumble upon me while I'm talking down a nut creature, scaring it away with your incompetence. Sound good? She peppers her walk with skips, talking up a veritable storm of world building. Her voice gets low and rumbly when she quits setting the scene and gets into character. Little one, what do you think you're doing, setting strut paw in our territory? You've made me lose my critter feast. What have you to say for yourself? Oh, Kid Paw and Star are like ranks. Okay. So kits are kittens, paws are apprentices, and they're the characters of warriors. Okay, cool. Oh, fuck, it's your turn. Oh, stars are leaders. I see. You didn't see where you were going. You're sorry, though. You know how hard it is to come by a good meal. Fool, you think me so poor a tracker that I am hurt by such a loss? I can find another. I find offense only in that you clearly do not respect the bond between hunter and hunted. You blunder in and interrupt the sacred rhythm of my fangs, its neck, or its claws my face. Now neither of us can know who would have prevailed. Ah, jeez. You're still, really sorry about your strut paws. You're constantly sticking those in other people's sacred dances. Maybe there are some more guys over there? When she stops walking and gives you a withering look. Is that really the best you can do? No, you'll try again. Very Into the Wild vibes. Okay, is that a particular book in the series? I mean, for me, what the scenario itself is reminding me of is, in Homestuck, when Arqueus and Dave Petta are trying to roleplay together, and Dave Petta keeps having to be like, you're not doing it right, man. Ah, the first book. Cool. How dare this purbeast accuse you of such a thing? Your intentions are as noble as the wild pusher that thumps in your, bone cabinet? Wanshi bounces, hands and fists, grinning. A little over the top, and not really a Starcast approach, but you're getting there. You practice finding your soldier's characterization sweet spot as you walk her home. You take the most direct route, but you let her stop to explain purbeast grooming habits, to breathe in the rotting perfume of a flower, and to appreciate yet another sidewalk-braving worm. You have the original cover. Dang, nice. Eventually, you reach the cave entrance you know. And standing under its eave is Lynura, a very pissed-looking Lynura, which isn't, your favorite mode for that particular friend. Note the knife gauge at the top is at full. Where have you been? I said I'd be right back. Not hey, go run off and leave me to make excuses for you. Well, I'm back now, so you can get over it. I know you won't tattle. You don't want Bronya to know you lost track of me. Watch yourself! Lynura glares fireballs at her and then turns to you, softening the tiniest of bits. We are now down 2 knives on the gauge. Thank you for bringing the short one back. Do you want to come in? You appreciate her politeness, but nah, you should go and let the jade settle down and everything. Plus, you have another friend you need to check up on. Warriors is how you met your main friends. That's so cute. Oh my god, I love that. Before you can say anything to Wanshi about how you hope she ended up having an okay time, she scurries off around the corner, calling back over her shoulder. Wait, I have something I want to give you before you go. So you wait. Lynura keeps looking at you, arms still crossed. You better be glad she's okay. If she got hurt, I could never... I would be in so much trouble. And the top of the book just says soldiers. And Sneak Cat, if this happens to be a reference to a particular cover, be interested to know. You don't have to call her on secretly caring, because when she comes running back in with something in her hands, her hair bounding behind her. Here, read this. Then maybe when you come back to visit me, you'll be, a little more informed about the Soldier Purpiece universe. I only have one person to play with here, and he usually pretends he's too cool, like he doesn't absolutely love Purpiece cast drama. Which is our very first bit of canon Lonk characterization, because who else would that be referring to? Karako does, potentially Karako lives in the caverns, but Karako doesn't try and play it cool. It looks like the original covers. Ooh, cool. We'll check out the credits after this for both Charun and Wanshi and take a look at who wrote them. Because I'm sure the person who wrote Wanshi was definitely a big fan of the books. But yeah, this is like the first mention of Lonk in the Friend Sims, and it's him being too cool to admit that he's into Soldier Purpiece, which has me... First time One of the Last Day got foreshadowed. Yes, that's true. That is true. They don't normally foreshadow for trolls that aren't released yet. Ah, nice catch, Olive. Yeah, that didn't quite click for me, but that is absolutely true. Yeah. Also, side note, so this has me now picturing... See, if Lonk is young enough to be the only other person for Wanshi to play with, that I'm guessing that means that Lonk is no older than like 16, but I would peg Lonk personally now as like 14, 15, and kind of in a phase where he's like too cool for everything, so to speak. Trying to be all slick. So that's my new vision of Lonk, and I'm absolutely loving that vision of him, because generally fanon interpretation up until this point has been that he's very slick. Very, very slick. But after this little tidbit, I'm willing to guess that he is actually not as slick as he is trying to come off as, or has been coming off as so far with character design and with the bullet points from the troll call. Okay, okay. I will look up the original covers of the books. Warrior Cat's original covers. Oh yeah, I recognize these covers. I've seen these books around before. I just have not read them. But yeah, with the kind of portrait in the center with the surrounding kind of background shot. Definitely very strong resemblance there. Long as it comes with the territory of being a Dio. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't watch JoJo. I don't know shit fuck about JoJo. Fun fact, before I watched My Hero Academia, I thought that All Might was a JoJo character because of all the muscle. And then even the style that he's drawn in, when he's not like all buffed up, like with the very strong angles. I thought that All Might was a fucking JoJo character. All Might is a JoJo character. Okay, yes. Confirmed, it's canon. Yeah. That was... Yeah, I didn't know that I was looking at My Hero Academia. I thought All Might was a JoJo. Oh my. Alright, we're so close to done here. I'm just gonna bring this through to the end and then we can keep talking. She bows a little as she offers the book to you. It is tattered with love. It's my personal copy, but I think I can trust you with it, Twinklepaw. What do you say? You know what book it is? Hey, which one is it, Sneak Cat? You clutch it to your chest and tell her that you will guard it with all the honor and spitfire Starcast has. Darkest Hour? Alright. Nice. You clutch it to your chest and tell her you will guard it with all the honor and spitfire Starcast has to its hallowed name. Best book buddies. Yeah, Lainura spying off to the side. And then cute little Wanshi giving you a book. One of the last books. Oh shit. That is not a good place to start, generally speaking. Alright, let's peek at the credits. Directed by Hussey, of course, as usual. We've got Ash Paulson, Cindy Dominguez, Julian Dominguez as producers. Writers! Alright. So, Wanshi was the wonderful Lalo Hunt. And Charun was Kieran Miranda, who we haven't seen in a while. Actually, no, it was Asdaja Stelsa Charun. It was just since Asdaja that we hadn't seen them in a while. But yeah, Lalo Hunt, Wanshi. Lalo Hunt must be a big Soldier Per Beasts stan. Must be a huge fan of the Warrior Cats to write that. Put those little references in there. A little character artist must have had a Adrian Garcia. It's possible that since that Adrian Garcia is not familiar with Warrior Cats and simply picked out a cover that she liked to be the cover of the book that when she gave MSP a reader. I would guess that one in particular. Backgrounds by Phil Gibson, yes. And ending cards also by Phil Gibson. UI design, David Turnbull, of course. Music. Fucking Karako's theme. So Wanshi's theme I don't know, man. You name it. I'm tired. Fair enough, James Roach. Fair enough. So that's Wanshi's theme. And Charun's theme has me super fucking excited because Charun's Cave is a Toby Fox song. This is the first Toby Fox original song to be put in the Friendsim. He composed this song specifically for the Friendsim, named it for the Friendsim. He hasn't done any original music for the Friendsim before. That's super fucking exciting, and I really hope it means that he's now able to hop back on the Hiveswap train a little bit more. Although, now that we know, he's got Deltarune in the works. Holy fuck, I don't even know where to start with that. I just finished playing it like a couple hours ago, and I'm still freaking the fuck out about it. So I'm not even gonna try to start that discussion. Also because I don't want to put spoilers here. But holy fuck, Deltarune. I will say this much: Delta means 4 in what kind of I think in the what fucking alphabet? I don't fucking even remember, but it's like I think Greek. Oh, fuck it. But Delta means 4 in some alphabet out there somewhere. So I'm guessing there's gonna be 4 parts to that. That's my estimate. I mean, the name Deltarune just comes from an anagram of Undertale, so that could just be a ruse. But yes, Sneakcat. Yes, I am in the know. But yeah. Indeed, Aleph. What pumpkin? Reassemble. Gotta get those folks coming back together. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping and yelling and sending the vibes out. That after the release of the final Friendsim, there will be news about Act 2. I'm guessing it's going to be the release of the final Friendsim, and then 2 weeks later, when the next Friendsim would have come out, if there was any more trolls, I'm guessing that's when we're gonna get something about Act 2. That's what my bets are on. Anyway, Mint Shipley again for game design and programming, quality assurance, Sonia Crawford. All the licensing and copyright and close menu. Alright, 1214, not too bad. You hope they have money to make it. I mean, yeah, like the Friendsims should be getting them like decent bucks, right? I hope so. Yeah, I mean, money was part of the issue, I think, with when they went on hiatus. But I mean, well, because the thing is, we know that they were working on Act 2 for a long time. So it must be close to done, if not just like needing to be play tested or something. That's my guess. But yeah, I'm excited and hopeful because, I mean, even we've seen like James Roach talking about as far as Act 3 even in terms of game development stuff and like making the soundtrack for it and all that jazz. So, you know, it's there. It's on the way. Getting started is always the hardest part. You know, putting up that first installment. But anyway, it is 12:15, and that's gonna be all for tonight. Yeah, because we did Charun yesterday, so this finishes things off rather nicely. All right, so tomorrow is going to be Hiveswap as usual, and we have recently arrived on Alternia. Haven't even had the first conversation with Zephyros yet. That's what we're going to be starting off with. Well, we'll explore the environment a little bit first, and then we'll have that cool conversation with Zephyros, and keep on chugging along from there. All right. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. I hope that you have enjoyed this little Friendsim Volume, Friendsim installment. That's all for this evening. Hopefully I will be seeing you all tomorrow for Hiveswap, and have a lovely rest of your day. Whatever you may be getting up to. You wanted me to play Discord? I mean, I guess okay, let's close the game then. And sure, I will play Discord. Alright. Thanks for hanging out. Fingers crossed I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Good night, folks.